And now it's all about you. So you ready to get started? We're going to talk?
Okay.
All right. I want to start with your full name.
Minnie Roberta Scott Young.
And where were you born?
Anderson County.
Anderson County, South Carolina.
Yes.
Would it be incorrect to ask a year?
59.
59.
Yes.
Now tell me about.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
My birthday is 9/26/37.
You have a birthday coming up.
Yes.
I do too. Happy birthday.
Thank
Don't
you.
see before. You have the most beautiful smile. All right. Let's talk about growing up in Anderson County. What was it like? You were there during the Depression.
Yes, you know, I grew up on the farm.
Yes, ma'am.
And, you know, I have one sister and one brother.
Yes, ma'am.
So we grew up on the farm, you know, and we didn't have very much. You know, we was picking cotton and had gardens, and that's how we made our living.
It was called Falmouth, Georgia, but it was right on the line of Rail, which is Wilkes County.
Which is where?
Rail, Georgia.
Which is where?
Which is where Rail, Georgia is just below Athens, which that's God's country. Athens is God's country.
And why is it God's country?
Because I was raised below that, about 36 miles.
Common sense is a term that I've heard so much, and people who know me laugh when they hear common sense mentioned. Common sense to a New Guinea headhunter is to kill and eat the people in the other tribe, but common sense tells you don't kill and eat the people in your tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Common sense is just what we've had programmed into us.
I'll tell you this story. My first bicycle was an old bicycle I found in a garbage pit. This was while we were living in Savannah. And people dug big holes behind their houses because we lived out in a new area. And somebody had thrown in a bicycle that had no handlebars. Well, I fished it out and took it home, cut the handle off my mother's broom and stuck it through that thing, you know, where the handlebars go. That was my first bicycle. And I taught myself to ride a bicycle with no handlebars.
Did you teach yourself how to ride a bike?
I did.
How does one do that without the guide and hands of an adult pushing?
I have no idea. You fall down a lot, I'll tell you that. And it was not, there was no pavement to ride on. It was just a grassy yard, you know, where I had to do it.
But I'll tell you one thing, the children would get up in the morning, and I felt like I had to be there at 7:30. And you know, we were never late because we were on time for me to get there early enough to get myself psyched up for the school day.
What was your favorite part about teaching?
My favorite part was being able to have a job and not just be staying at home working at the house. I felt like if I had something that was mine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Rumi, see if I can pull it out. When I first heard this, I tingled, and I've tried to memorize it. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other. It doesn't make any sense.
Let's talk about Coke salad. Okay, but I want you to explain, because Sierra does not know what that is.
There was a marsh with a dock going out to the river, and the dock had a little platform at the end with a little roof over it and everything. When my dad came home from work in the summertime, he would take off his coat, and all that, take the paper, and go out to sit on the dock. And my brother and I would go with him. If the tide was high, my brother got to have a rope tied around him and he could go in the water, and that's where he learned to swim. If the tide was so high that it came up over the dock, I could play in the water on the dock. But he would roll up his seersucker pants, and I can see this now, roll up his seersucker pants, sit there with his feet propped up, reading the paper, and every now and then tug on the rope to see somebody was still on it.
You did that to your brother, and you really.
Let's don't get into my finances, because everybody's going to be seeing that,
We will not talk about finances. Let's keep that.
But anyway,
Heaven forbid someone find out
anyway,
you're not a millionaire.
No, and
Well, it grows out in a field, you know, or down near branches and things like that. It grows up and it has the big leaves on it, the big stalks, you know. And we used to go and take those, the big trash bags, them big ones, and we would go looking for poke salad. And we would find it and we would get so much and bring home. And then you had to do it like you do turnip greens. You had to look it, you know, and everything like you do turnip greens. And then you had to wash it leaf by leaf. And then you put it on, you parboil it about 3 times. You put it on, you let it boil, and then you run cold water over it, mash that water out of it, put more water on it, put it back on again, let it pour. You do that about 3 different times. And then you take it and pour that water off, run more water over it, and just mash it out, you know, because it don't have no taste. It's no taste to it. As you season it, that's what give it the flavor. Now, a lot of people cooks it with turnip greens.
Yes, ma'am.
Most people that you know mostly mix it with greens, but I didn't mix mine with greens.
Okay.
I just cooked it.
And then you serve it up, so fat back little onions, possibly green.
Oh yeah, you use lots of onions. Lots of onions. I mean, I use lots of onions. Okay. Green onions, the regular onions, and you could use garlic powder, onion powder. I put all that in there. And back then, you know, we was using salt then in foods. And cook the fatback meat and pour that fatback meat grease in there and let it cook. Now let me tell you, every child I got, love poke salad.